I think connections would be my main word. Recently did the Ezekiel passage in one of the church services about breathing life into old bones, and the whole thing about the body, and I think that for me is really important. So connections to community would be my first, and then connections over this last 8 minutes using new media really, which was hard for me because I'm not something that I do naturally. I prefer to do face-to-face talking. So the connections with the community have been really important through this place, Community House, which is where we are now, because it's a community church and it's a charity as well as a church, and the charity is linked to lots of projects in the community, and we host lots of projects. So we've maintained lots of contacts with families, with the police, with various other projects in order to help the community to function. And I think a couple of the important things have been enabling families in the area who are not first language English Welsh to fill in forms. Our youth workers have been involved in that to support people who've needed support through that time with feeding, through the schools programme, but also through a programme that happened here through the Caribbean culture. So those are some of the things to do with making sure community is functioning, and I'm hoping that will continue, and that as we can open the building, that we'll be able to connect in a different way, that we'll be able to see each other. The other connection has been through the media, really. It is using media. I've had to learn about Zoom, which I think a lot of people have had to learn about Zooming, and we found that quite useful. It's been really good that we could keep our services going through Zoom, right through the pandemic really, and we've only just started using the building again for worship. But of course there's a lot of our churches and a lot of our little groups that don't have access to that sort of technology. So telephoning, basic telephoning. And the other thing that I found I was doing more of was writing out my services in full, including the address, so keeping it fairly short, so that it could be printed and taken to some of those people around my churches in Newportshire who don't really have access to email even. So you can't even email it to them. So using email, using telephone, using Zoom, using Teams, all of these have been important. I will use those going on, I'm not absolutely sure, but obviously keeping that connection going. And some of the things we've been able to do have been different. So using videos, using images, I think we've done a lot more of that because of using the sharing on Zoom. So learning how to use those technologies. And one of the things I did was I got one of the grants that we do as a church, and I've upgraded my laptop and I've got myself a data projector. So I think connection is the basic theme, and the one is the enabling community, which I think is really an important part of the church, and the other one is maintaining contact with individuals who maybe are not into this modern age. Well, I think I hope that we'll continue to develop what we've already started, maintaining these connections to community, enabling them more. A lot of what I do is in the background, supporting some of the people involved in the projects, the ones who are on the face of the projects. So I'm there to support them. But a lot of what I've done for my ministry with phone calls and emails and writing out full services again, which I haven't done since I was sort of early in ministry, and sending them out with images and words of hope and Bible passages on them. People seem to appreciate them, and I've been quite surprised really how many people have contacted me back to say thank you for doing that. So yes, you're in contact with a lot more people in some ways than you would be if you just had to visit people. So yes, I'm hoping that we can develop that a bit more. And then doing a mix really of Zooming and live stuff. So if there's a service here or somewhere else that other people can join in from Zoom, if we give them the connection. I think those are the important things for the future, really, to keep those connections going and to make sure we're connected as a presbytery, as a church, and as communities.